You got a new phone. Okay. So
it's more, well, it's a smartphone.
okay, yeah.
It's, but it's a, what do you call it? What is it? It's a Samsung.
Yeah, Samsung's good.
Okay, but it's a 3.
Okay.
It's not the.
No, you don't. So, and that's the thing about these phones. You don't need the latest and greatest.
It's not.
I mean, no. If you're into that kind of thing, like, yeah, I'm not either. Like, I don't.
There's more features that people our age don't need, right?
It's all up to what you want to use, right?
I want to make phone calls.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I want to make
More than
phone calls
enough.
and take pictures. And third, like, are you supposed to see? I've never done this. Are you supposed to hook into the web that's available? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, like, if you want to go on there and maybe look up like a recipe or
Right.
like a movie.
Right.
So I don't know if you remember, there's 2 ways we can do it. We can do it through our cell phone company. So it's this Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile.
No, this is a practice.
Charter phone, okay. And then what do you have for your provider?
What is your provider?
My provider is T-Mobile.
T-Mobile, okay. So you can go and do the internet through your service provider. So that's one way. Or if you're in a place like the library,
Right.
You can tap into their Wi-Fi network, and it's free. You know, we're not stealing.
I need to know how to do that.
We can look at that too after we're done.
Okay.
But it's really easy. But you just connect, and then it'll show that you're connected to the library network, and then you can use that internet there. So just 2 different ways. And but I'm happy you got the phone. The other one, I mean, it was fine for phone calls, right?
Right.
But like if you wanted to do anything more beyond that,
No.
yeah, you kind of limited it.
I'm happy with my phone, although I think it's going to have to be replaced soon
Why do you think so?
because the battery is not lasting very long.
Oh, okay, okay.
And somebody said to me, when that starts happening, then you know your phone's on its way out.
Yeah.
So they said, how old's the phone? I said, it's 2.5, 3 years old.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
That's ancient.
That's it.
It's not that bad. Yeah, my phone's maybe I think 3 or 4 years old, but I mean it gets the job done for me.
Yeah, but as long as this is alive, it's staying with me.
Yeah, exactly. And then so the other thing too, depending on the phone, sometimes you can replace those batteries on your own. Sometimes you can't. We would have to look it up and see if that's one of the models that can replace a battery on. So just something we can look into. I know with mine, I can't replace the battery on it. Once it's done, it's done. So luckily, it's doing a decent job of holding charge, but we'll see. Okay, so do you 2 ladies know what we're talking about today?
No.
Okay.
You didn't put that in your email.
All right, no problem. So I'm just give you this sheet here real quick. This is our topic today. It's about podcasts. So have we heard of podcasts at all?
I've heard of podcasts, but it's like radio.
If
Yeah.
you want to listen to something that you missed on the radio, right? Is that
No, it's
Kind of. Go ahead. Give me your
Isn't
thoughts.
they do this specifically, but isn't it through the internet?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
through the internet, but so you have to look it up through the internet. But it's not visual at all?
Not visual. So kind of sort of, but mostly it's audible. So yeah.
Mostly it's audible.
Yeah. So like the paper says, like the radio, you know, back in the day. That's
Yeah.
what the podcast is today. So,
Believe me, back in the day, we remember before TV.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I remember sitting there listening to the radio.
Yeah. So like everybody's kind of like, you know,
Yeah,
gathered
we were,
together, and then
right.
instead of this being the TV, it's the radio, and
Right.
everybody's like tuned in intently on that. That's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
So, you know, the funny thing too about that, we're kind of like getting back to that. We're not all like huddled around like the phone and listen to the podcast or
Right.
listen to the radio like that.
Oh, so I didn't know you could do, you could get, oh, I guess you can. I always thought you had to go through well, you have to go through the internet. I assumed it was the computer. I didn't, okay.
Yeah.
I guess you could do it.
Yeah, we're going to dig into that. So yeah, so I'm glad you two know a little bit about podcasts, just a little bit. And then we're going to dig a little more into this today. So I want to thank you two for coming out again. Always a pleasure.
I'm pleased that you get to give us lessons, and that's very, very fun.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So I'm always happy to be here, and thanks again to the library for allowing us to hang out here for a little bit. And so this is me. You kind of know who I am. My name is Jamal Abbott, once again. And I won't bore you with all this stuff about my background.
No, it's not boring. It's interesting to learn. I like to know where people come from and where they're going.
Yeah, so let me just cover this just real quick. So I've been doing this now for about 15 years. So I celebrated my 15-year anniversary out of the my 15-year anniversary going into the Air Force just this past summer. So
So you're
June.
still in the Air Force?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
But 15 years ago I joined and I graduated from basic training around this time of the year. And then so one of my first teaching experiences was with my own grandma. So she had the VCR, and then she had the show that she wanted to watch, which is Young and the Restless. So I took this, we got a VCR right here too. But I took this VCR, I showed her how to program it, and that was like one of the first times that I actually got to experience working with somebody in technology.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so grandma was the first one. Shortly after, some
Was
years
that a
after.
Betamax?
VHS.
Oh, VHS.
VHS. Yeah.
Before we bought a VHS.
You bought a Betamax?
Yeah, at the time.
Oh my.
That was a long time ago,
Oh.
but I mean, there was, that was when VHS and Beta were, compatible. I mean, comparable,
Right.
That was before the VHS evolved.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, now you got a funny story to tell.
Yeah.
So after, I'll fast forward a little bit. So when I graduated from high school, I had an opportunity to jump into computer repair. So fixing on computers and laptops and things like that. I did that for a year, and then I came to Las Vegas in 2003. And then when I came to Las Vegas in 2003.
Sorry, where did you come from?
Oh, I'm sorry, California. So
Oh.
last part of California
Good
was
luck.
Lancaster, California.
Oh, Lancaster.
Oh,
Familiar? Familiar?
Of
Yeah,
course,
I
I've just come to this town. I've been in California all the time.
I lived in
Really?
LA County.
Where?
I lived in LA County.
Okay. Well,
We were West LA.
okay, yeah. Gotcha. And then where were you at?
San Diego.
Oh my gosh.
Is there any other place?
Oh my goodness. You can't live anywhere else other than San Diego. We
Exactly.
like to hang out there all the time.
Tell me about it.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
very difficult to come here.
I always have this joke about California. It's like, it's a nice place to live, but it's super expensive to actually live out there. And I swear one of these days we're gonna have like taxes on you like living and breathing out there. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's the
But
Texas
at least it's not as bad as going to San Francisco.
No, I haven't been to San Francisco.
Huh?
I still haven't been to San
Oh
Francisco.
God, you can't
You've never been to
you
San
can't afford to
Francisco?
breathe. You really can't.
Yeah, there's expensive. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's one article I was looking at. It was like, there's a nurse up there. She was making like almost $200,000 a year, but she was like, that was like considered like low wage for her.
Yeah.
Oh my
I've
God,
got
yeah.
a couple of friends, well, they're much younger than me, but they live there. They've got 2 boys. And the boys are, well, the one's a teenager now, and the other's probably about 10, okay?
Yeah.
And both earn over $300,000 a
Wow.
month, both of them. And they stay in a 2-bedroom apartment which they can barely afford.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's chills to my spine.
Yes.
It's,
And plus the taxes.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
The taxes are,
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
Absolutely outrageous.
I don't know how long it's going to be sustainable, with the cost of living up in that area.
People are going to have to move somewhere else because they can't afford to live there.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't be.
well, Google's putting, what, $1 billion into housing? Because they're the ones that created it.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Well,
The
they
tech
don't,
industry,
yeah.
so now they are putting money into some affordable housing.
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so now we know where
Yes.
you came from.
Yeah,
where
so
you-
it's a little bit about me. So I came here back in 2003, and the funniest thing about it, I wanted to come here and do the computer thing, but I wasn't as focused as I am now. So I spent most of my time just kind of staying at home. I didn't find a job. I played video games. Yeah, just wasn't focused. And then when I got tired of being broke. So
Yeah.
that's when I joined the Air Force.
Your mom give you a damn good hiding, perhaps.
Yeah. So they gave me a couple talks, like, hey man, you need to get together. You know, you can do something about this. And so my dad was in the Army for 26 years. So I had talked to him and a couple other relatives that were in the Army at the time, and they were just, giving me encouragement to go and try it out. And that's what I did. But I didn't do the Army thing, I just did the Air Force because it seemed to be the right fit. So I did 4 years in that, and then I came back to Las Vegas in 2008, and I've been out here since that time. And then now in the IT support field, so use this guy right here, the Department of Agriculture. I support one of their clients, and they have about 1,400 sites across the United States, and I take care of their telephone systems.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So I get to work with a lot of people, all across the world or all across the country, different ages, from folks that are in college to folks that are getting ready to retire out of the government system, and they have some need for technology. So that's kind of my role there.
So were you a pilot in the Air Force? Or?
No, so I actually did telephone systems.
Oh, so you did what you knew. Okay.
Yeah, so just connecting. So when I was in the Air Force at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, my job was to take care of the telephone system on base. So we got connections to other Air Force bases, other military bases. We had connections to other places overseas, and our job was to make sure that those networks and systems were online, so that people can do their jobs. Get the planes in the air, get the tanks on the ground, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about me. That's the background. But I love teaching technology. So, like I said, I'm so happy that you all are here today.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We're thrilled that you enjoy it because we need your help.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's the funny thing about technology, right? So, we get this stuff, right? We get the
I've
DVD player.
resisted it for a long, long time.
And so let me ask you this question: Why? Why the resistance?
I don't know. When you're older, it's harder to learn new things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I did have a flip phone.
Mhm.
And because all I used the phone for is to make outgoing calls. I wasn't using it for anything else. But then I lost my flip phone, and then I was using that other phone
Okay.
my husband had. But I decided on my birthday this year to
Need it.
try to get another phone.
My
And learn
husband,
it.
my husband kept nagging me. He said, "Come and sit down. You need to learn how to use the
Smartphone.
that was a computer."
Computer.
Okay. Computer. Okay. Yeah.
Because I had a business, espresso business. So that's the only thing I knew how to do on the computer.
Okay.
That was it. I could send my customers the invoices, the
Yeah.
statement. I could print invoices. I could do everything pertaining to that business. Other than that, I had no clue. So
But you have the important things down, right?
my husband said, "You have to take over the books. You have to start doing it." I said, "Where do you think you're going?" I knew he was dying. I knew, but I lived in denial. I wasn't prepared to accept it.
Mhm.
And then, of course, when he went, I was in at the deep end. Somebody had to do the books, and
Yeah.
I was the only person there. So
Wow.
I got thrown in at the deep end, but he begged me to live.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't. But then when you're thrown in at the deep end, you either sink or you try to
Yeah.
save
Sink or swim,
yourself.
right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sink or swim, so.
And so let me ask you this question. Rosalind, right?
But yes, very good.
Why the resistance though, with the technology? Just curious.
Because that was what he did. And I told her, I lived in denial, he wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
accept it, so I thought if I start learning, then he'll really die.
I see.
But in spite of it, he died in spite of it all. But that's why I wouldn't learn, because I was scared if I would know it, then he would
Right.
just fade away.
I got you.
I have the opposite problem. My husband knows less than me, so it's bad.
I see.
And he uses the phone, he has a smartphone. Oh, had a nice little, no, had a smartphone that I had bought, and he took it because I wasn't using it.
Mhm.
But all he uses it for is calls, that's it.
Okay.
He doesn't use the internet or take pictures or do anything. But he wouldn't give me my phone back. Because he liked it. It was
Yeah.
easier for him and he could see the letter, we could read it.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
I had to give it up.
That's good. All right, so actually, I'll share a couple new things since we've last talked. So, January we had last talked at Centennial. I had a break between, I did my last class back in February. So in March, I started a podcast. It's called The Jamal Abbott Show.
Oh, very
So,
nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So that was a new thing. So that's kind of the extension of me teaching here at the library. I talk a lot about personal development, talk about business, which I think you would probably like, and I talk about some of the things that are happening in the tech industry. And so the cool thing about this podcast since I started, I've almost had 500 downloads, which is pretty cool, especially since I just kind of started this on the whim. And the other thing about the show, it's been downloaded and listened to in 13 different countries, which
How
blows my
interesting,
mind.
how wonderful.
Yeah.
That's very wonderful.
Yeah, so it's been fun so
You could
far.
be proud of that. Are you listening, Ishmael?
So that's the podcast, and then we're going to get into just a little bit more about where you can find this one and other ones. I'm not going to just talk about my own podcast today.
Okay.
So this website's new, it's jamalabbott.com, so you can check that out, and that's actually where the podcast lives. And then I know we talked about social media. Have you changed our mind on social media yet? We looking into it, or we
I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I basically just read my friends' posts,
Mhm.
but I don't know how to post on it.
Okay.
What I also need to learn is how do you take pictures and how do you send pictures?
Okay, yeah.
Or post it onto Facebook, that I don't know.
Okay, no problem.
Or Instagram or whatever. I mean, but Facebook, once or twice a month I'll go on, and what is it called, your wall?
Oh, yeah. Or the news feed, yeah.
The news feed,
yeah.
From my
See what's
brother-in-law and sister-in-law must post 2 or 3 times a day, and it's crazy. I mean, and they post pictures, which is nice, but I'd like to know how to do that. That I haven't learned, or I have friends that have smaller kids,
Yeah.
and they post pictures of their kids and videos and.
So is that something that we might be interested in looking into down the road?
Yeah.
I'm totally out of that.
Okay, no.
I'm not interested, not one bit.
No problem.
I don't want you to look at other people's things, and I don't want them to know about my life.
No
Well,
problem.
I've never updated my,
The profile.
profile, that's it.
No. Those
No
people I
problem.
want to speak to, I speak to them, or I email them, or I text them, but I don't put it on the internet. No.
No problem. And there's a fit for everyone. So some folks
Yeah.
want to do the social media thing and they'll post everything about their life. That's
I
fine.
know,
I
it's
thought
Some
that
people
too
don't.
when they go
Crazy.
to the bathroom,
right, or they take pictures of the food that they eat.
Yeah.
No, I don't go now. I mean,
No problem.
I do go on Facebook, but that's about it.
Yeah, no worries. We'll look into it maybe down the road. So today we're gonna talk about podcasts. So we're gonna learn about what it is, how to listen to them, where to listen to them, and then we'll answer some questions. And we can answer some specific questions about your phones, the pictures, the internet, that kind of stuff. So we'll leave some time at the end for that.
Okay.
All right, are we ready to rock and roll?
Yes.
Yes.
So what I want to do real quick, I just think it's important to kind of get some definitions out there first. So learning, we're here to learn, we're here to gain skills, so we can, take those skills and apply it to our lives. So just kind of what you're talking about with the books. If you don't know how to do the books, then that's going to cause some problems or some discomfort when it comes to running a business. Maybe not so much with the smartphone, but there could be some useful things that we can pick up by learning how to do a couple things here and there. And what I look at it too with learning is that we're like building a foundation. So obviously with the house, even with this library, right? We don't like just throw a library here and that's it. No, they have to put the foundation down. Then somebody had to come in and put the frames up, then the steel, then the bricks, and then everything else in between. And then we get to the point where we have a library with people in it. And that's the same thing about our technology. We just need to lay the foundation first, and then we're going to build upon that. So this class, we're going to learn about podcasts. The next class, we may learn about maybe getting into texting a little bit more. And then the next class, we may learn about taking selfies and things like that. So brick by brick, and we're just learning, and we're just going to get this experience in this right now. And then with this being the digital learning series, we're going to adapt this just a little bit, and we're going to talk about digital technologies that we're going to use to make our lives better and to just gain different experiences and knowledge. So we learn, we grow, and we share, and then that's how we continue on with this digital world that we're in right now. So I had talked about what, I asked you your thoughts about a podcast, what it is, and you know, you're pretty right. So a podcast is a program that you can listen to over the internet, and I say that this is like a radio program in the sense that you have some podcasts out there that have some prepared remarks or comments. They go on air at a certain time. The only difference is that you don't have to tune in at 2 o'clock on a Saturday to listen to the program. You can listen as long as they put that episode out there on the internet. Cool. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it's the same as having a recording that your shows on the television. So basically you can watch this and listen to this anytime.
Anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, but how do you become aware of them?
We're going to find that out too.
Okay. It's like, I know they're out there, but.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, where do I go? So,
Yeah, right.
And then, so the other thing too about that is it all depends on your interests. So if you tell me what you're interested in, then maybe we can find a podcast. So what do you like?
What do I like? Comedians.
Comedians. So Anna, the lady that was just here for the library, she said that she studied like comedy. So she's into that improv and teaching people about humor and that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure if we go and look on the internet, specifically in the podcast world, we can probably find somebody that's doing some stand-up comedy, you know, probably live that they've recorded, or maybe somebody teaching about how to do comedy. I don't know if you want to. No. You're like, I want to laugh. I don't want to. I don't want to do
be
the
entertained.
Yeah, I want to
But
be entertained.
actually, that's funny that you should say that because I have a friend in LA. She's a retired MD, and she's doing comedy.
yeah.
She's actually,
Interesting.
yeah, she actually is doing. She'll send emails out. Come see me at this comedy club. I'm
Yeah.
performing 10 o'clock.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
started. I mean, she probably started in her 70s, I think, or maybe 60s, but still.
That's amazing.
That's hard to do, I think, but.
Yeah, you
that's
go
a
from
challenge.
you go from being a doctor and
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I'm a comedian. This is
Right.
funny. Which
Like
might have
a
some stories to
comedian.
tell too, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I changed professions right down. I mean, one can speak to the other. So did you? You were in the Air Force, and now you're in the tech industry. So so
Yeah, absolutely.
big life change.
Change is good though.
Yeah.
So another thing about a podcast, this is absolutely free. So I equate this to the radio, so you can turn on the radio and you can start listening to a show
But
or
it seems
music.
like, now if they get a lot of listeners,
Mhm.
Do they have sponsors?
Yeah, some have sponsors, and the good thing about like some of the podcasts I listen to, they're not like long like sponsorship type commercials, because they know too, like these people are here for the show. They don't necessarily want to hear this 5-minute advertisement about how great my water is.
Right.
Like, no, I want to get back to the show.
And you can't fast forward.
You can.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, yes you can. So yeah, we'll look into that here just a little bit. But yeah, so it's free to listeners. If you have a really popular podcast, there are opportunities for the podcasters to get sponsorships. Those sponsors will pay X amount of dollars to those individuals that are hosting the show, and then if that sponsor resonates with you, then you can go buy the product, and then they may get maybe some compensation from that too. But yeah, so it's free. There's nothing that we need to do if we want to listen to anything about history or sports or anything like that. So it's there and free for us.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
700,000.
700,000 podcasts active worldwide. Amazing, huh? Who would have thought?
Wow.
And so podcasting is relatively young. I don't know when the first podcast was actually put out there, but I think this has really taken off as the smartphone has become more available to all of us. But yeah, so over 700,000 podcasts, and then 29 million plus episodes. So an episode is like one particular show, and that show can be anywhere from 5 minutes up to 30 minutes, up to an hour. So it all depends on the person and the stuff they have to talk
So
about.
how long are you, what is your?
So I break it down into two types of episodes that I'll do. So I'll do one that's specific to like personal development. I keep that under 10 minutes, just because I know people's attention spans are short.
Was this even shorter?
And then my tech news that goes up to about 30 minutes. So what I try to do in my episodes though is, especially with the tech news, I'll like highlight and say, oh, okay, news about T-Mobile is on here at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So if they want to skip to that specifically and listen to that part, then they can do that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, close to 30 million episodes. I don't have nearly that many, but maybe in time.
How do you know there are over 700,000 podcasts?
So that was a statistic that I looked up on the internet. The last number I heard was over 600,000, but yeah, now it's 700,000 podcasts in the world. So I don't know where they counted these numbers from,
Yeah,
but
how did they get that?
there's some smart people out there.
Well, I guess they estimated.
Yeah,
Wait, so there's 29 million episodes that were made?
yeah, all across the world, all over the globe. 29 million episodes. And then you can listen to those episodes in a couple different ways. So we have the phone right here, which we all have. So we can listen to podcasts on our phone. Another way to do it too is you can listen to it on the computer. Do we own a computer at home?
Yes.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
have multiple computers or one?
One
Just
and one laptop, an old laptop that we may use when we go on vacation,
Okay.
but otherwise this one.
Okay. And then do we know what this is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Lexi, or what's the other one's name? Siri, not Siri,
Siri?
Siri.
Yeah, so yeah, the Siri's
Siri.
the voice assistant for Apple, and that's the Alexa device or Amazon Echo. So yeah, do we have any one of these at home?
No.
Any
No.
of these devices? Okay, so this is really
One of
popular.
those listening devices?
I had my phone turned on, I didn't realize it was sitting next to me, and then I did something, and the next thing, Google, she's talking to me.
No, she wanted to know what you wanted. She was
Butted
listening
into
to
my
you.
conversation. I thought, what the heck's going on here?
Right, like I didn't ask for your input right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny too because we have two of these devices. I have one of these in my kitchen, so we'll use it for like music. We'll use it for, I'll listen to podcasts on here too. I have one of those in the bathroom too, so like hey, what's the time? What's the weather? That kind of stuff. But when I say Alexa, Alexa will activate and then it'll listen. But sometimes I'll say,
And she'll give me the answer, or she'll tell me when the next Aviators game is, and who they're playing against, and
Yeah.
she's very good about telling me
yeah,
what's going on.
it's a pretty amazing device.
Yeah, when you're alone, it's nice to have somebody to speak to.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, those devices are getting a lot more intelligent, and I'm still kind of like playing with it just to see what I can do with it. But yeah, that we'll definitely have to talk about this in another class. So
Okay.
maybe I'll bring one of mine in here. But yeah, so 3 different ways you can listen to, and then let me just get a quick show of hands real quick. Out of all these 3, what do you think is the most popular? You think it's a smartphone, computer, or the speaker to listen to podcasts?
To listen to podcasts,
Smartphone.
Smartphone, okay. What do you think, Joe?
maybe they'll, probably the smartphone, there's more smartphones than Alexa
Yeah.
available.
And you,
It's just that we always seem to have our smartphones on us.
yeah, exactly.
Well, mine isn't always on though.
You got it, but
Mine
it's
is
not
off more
on.
than on.
You got it, but it's not on.
Yeah, I got it, but it's not on.
I don't know, it's just
My
ridiculous.
But you 2 are correct. It is a smartphone. That's the most common device that people listen to podcasts. And a couple different reasons why. It's mobile. You can take it with you. You can put headphones on and put it in your ears. So it's just a couple different. It's just a lot easier to have it here in your hand than it is maybe to bring a laptop or ask your smart device to pull the podcast. But you're going to start to see more podcasts being played off of this. But we're really early in this area right here. And then I would even say too, with these computers and laptops, more people are, I don't want to say getting away from them but for leisure-wise, but it's just a lot easier to pick up the phone than it is
Right.
for me to go and go to my laptop. I have a laptop upstairs in my house, and then it's just more convenient for me to pick up the phone or a
Oh,
tablet.
we have to walk up all
I
this.
know. Shame on me for not getting the exercise to listen to something. Okay, so we both have we have Samsung, and then what is that device?
LG.
LG. Okay, so those are both Google type devices or Android devices. We talked a little bit about that in the last class, and so we won't even bother with Apple because it's not relevant to us. But these are the 2 common places that you can listen to podcasts. And actually with Android, you have even more options to listen to podcasts. So Google Podcasts is one place that we can listen to podcasts. Let me peek here real quick and see where we're at. Okay. Google Podcasts is one place that we can listen to podcasts. There's some other apps out there, and if you want to write this down, that we can listen to podcasts on. One of them is called Stitcher, Stitcher, I believe that's how it's spelled, Stitcher.
Oh, just not a sticker.
Another place that we can listen to podcasts is called Spotify.
I've read it, Spotify.
Okay, yeah, good.
What about iHeartRadio?
iHeartRadio is another place that we can listen to podcasts.
Hard radio. Like
Oh,
in hard
what about-
copy.
Yeah, iHeart, yeah.
Yeah, what about TuneIn?
Good. TuneIn is another place that you can listen to podcasts. There's so many different places. One that I heard here recently is called Castbox. And then it's just a matter of your personal preference on which one you want to use. So there's no right or wrong.
So they're all free?
They're all free, and we can get those from like an app store, just like what we talked about in the past. So, and we'll actually move on to that right now. And once again, if we want to download one of those apps, and we'll actually go through this exercise, we need to go to the app store or the Play Store to go get it. And then once we go download that device or download that app, then we can go search for podcasts. So what I want you 2 to do, I want you to pull up the Play Store. Do you remember how to get there?
Well, here, just get one.
And I'll do this here with you.
Yes, on my face, whatever.
Okay.
Oh my God, everything's blank.
Let's show you what apps I've got.
Okay, good. Oh, you got yours right there, Play Store? That one?
Oh.
chugging along. And we'll give it some time, no worries. And then, so what we'll do here, we're going to look for this app called Stitcher. So good, yours finally did pop up. So this is the app that I'm talking about here, Stitcher.
Let me see.
So we have
That one.
to.
Yeah.
This is LG Mobile Switch.
Yeah.
That's
So
rubbish.
no, yeah. So these are apps that you had installed previously,
Yes.
apparently.
Okay,
Yes.
so then help and feedback, help,
And it was
no internet
oh,
connection.
internet connection. Okay.
Notify,
Let's
retry.
see here. We'll set this up real quick. And we'll do a quick lesson on getting access to the library Wi-Fi here.
Oh, yes, how do I do that?
We can do that real quick. All right. Swipe down. That's our Wi-Fi symbol. That upside down triangle. We'll click that one that says unfiltered access. And then once it connects, it's going to bring up a screen.
Which one would go?
Certifying not trusted, cancel, what is it?
Yeah, that's fine. So just go ahead and
What
click
is
use.
this, not trusted?
That's a security certificate. It's basically saying that you're connected to a network that you may not trust. Do you trust the library? I mean,
Yeah.
we're here hanging out here, right? So go ahead and connect. All right, and then
Library Wi-Fi.
okay.
Unfiltered access.
Yeah. So go ahead and push that circle. We're gonna go back, and then go to Chrome right here, and then it should take us to the library Wi-Fi here just a little bit. But what you're going to see, you might already be connected, or it looks like you're on your private internet connection. Let's try this one more time. It's connected. It says we're connected. Okay, maybe you've connected before. I don't know.
No.
No. Interesting.
Maybe you've gone to the library and left the phone on, connected itself.
Interesting. Let's try one more way here.
Unfiltered access? Change mode to filtered access?
Interesting. Okay, we'll figure it out. No worries. Anyway, so
Continue to unfiltered access.
yeah, so continue to unfiltered access, and then you just have to accept, and then you'll be connected to the Wi-Fi network of the library. You read all this, and then you say yes, I want to continue.
Do you have to do this every time you come here?
No, just one time.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think maybe every once in a while it will change and ask you to re-sign up again. Let's see this real quick. We got time here. There's usually another place for the internet here.
That's my problem when I was doing it at home, if my husband knew more than I did, I could ask him, but he knows less, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
There's no one at home to say, hey, what am I doing wrong? How do I do this?
Okay, no worries. We'll get back to that. Okay.
And this I'm still going to connect when I get home to my own.
Right.
Yeah, you will, yeah. So yeah, when we connect to the
So
Wi-Fi
it
in
says it-
different places, it'll automatically connect you to this. And then when you,
go home, it'll go connect
Okay,
later.
Play Store,
Yep.
so then we have to type
I just
in.
don't want to get home and then I find.
oh no, yeah, if something like that happened, you
My
just.
son that lives here says, Mom, ask my brother.
So we put in what?
Stitcher. Okay, so we're back to the Play Store. Go ahead and, Rosalind, tap the top right there, and then we're typing Stitcher. ST.
I got it.
Okay.
STICHER.
Now we're quite with my
No,
teenage
okay.
red line.
Well, okay,
Why did- what happened here?
Stitcher. No, Stitcher. And then
S-T-I.
S-T-I-C-H-E-R.
No, no, no.
Yeah. I use my stylus clearly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm always pressing the wrong.
Okay,
I found it back there.
yeah.
Okay, you found it.
So just
Okay,
stick
so
your
install.
Oh,
fingers.
there it is. Yep. So go ahead and click that. Yep.
Install.
Install.
Complete account setup. Continue.
Oh, now click install.
Yep. Install.
Yes.
I like your phone. It's nice and big.
Yeah, mine.
And now,
This looks good.
verified update for check company.
Yeah. So all that is it's saying that you're protected. You don't have to worry about like any
Okay.
viruses or anything like that.
Oh, so now we open
Yep. Go ahead and open. So you got yours there, and then yours is. It says it's pending. Why are we pending?
Where do you see pending?
Right here, download.
Oh,
pending.
there.
Okay, it's downloading.
Oh, now
it. So
it's,
what do we sign in?
oh, now it's up there.
It doesn't matter.
I think we can. Okay, so yeah, you can sign up. You can sign up with the email.
Sign up with email.
Mm-hmm.
So do I have to do anything more yet? No, we're in.
We are installing. So and
Now
now
I open.
open. Yep. So it's going to ask you to sign up for an account. Like I said, we're going to go through this exercise here. Since we
Sign
have
in with
time.
Facebook, sign in with Google, sign in up with email,
You can do email.
and account login. Email address, I must put in my address.
Yeah, put in your email address.
Okay.
And then
So
you-
is it the password for this email?
It's a password that you're going to make up for this. So this is you're creating an account right now for
this
Stitcher.
one?
Yeah. So you don't have to use your same email password. You can make it up. You know, you can say I love podcasting 1234 exclamation mark, or you can make it something a little bit more complicated, so that way nobody can get into it. So just to recap, we're in the process right now of downloading this app, so we can load up some podcasts. How you doing? And then once we download this app, we're going to be able to get in there and look for different podcasts to listen to.
You know, it's saying I need a password. Now, can I use my normal password that I
Right.
use all the time, or is that just you?
You can, or if you want to use a different password, that's fine too.
No, I
It's
want-
completely up to you.
Difficult enough to remember one.
Yeah, I
Go
know.
ahead. Go ahead. How you doing? Hi. So just to recap, since we have some new folks here in the audience, we're learning today about podcasts. Are we familiar with podcasts at all? Huh?
Screenwriting?
Oh, no, it's not screenwriting. This is a smartphone class.
Oh.
And I think the screenwriting one might be around the corner.
Yeah. Do you know how much longer you're going to be?
We have 15 more minutes.
15 more minutes. So we're going to do it here probably in 15 minutes if you guys could just like look and get it.
That's fine. Thanks a lot.
Okay,
Appreciate the help.
thank you.
There's some chairs down here, magazines and stuff.
Stitcher,
Okay.
and
Are you
then
the screenwriting also?
it said save Google password, but I didn't, that wasn't a Google password.
Oh, they're saying if you want to save your password to Google.
Oh, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have.
It's all right. It's tied to your Google account.
Okay, so, okay.
Okay, so yeah, so you're in there, and then you're.
Passwords do not match.
So for you, you just have to delete the first password again, and then delete the second password, and then just make sure that they match up.
So we press done. After this,
Yeah, go ahead and click done. So it's asking you what you want to listen to, and then based on that, it's going to give
would
you.
like to know your location to show you the best podcast.
It's up to you. You can say yes or no to that. So they're trying to give you some recommendations right now for podcasts, and so it's up to you completely if you want to allow your location to be identified. And then how are we doing over here?
Welcome to Stitcher featuring the business on the
Okay, good.
Zoe?
It looks like you're in. And then it's going to ask you to make a couple selections. So if you're into news, classics, comedy, business, culture. So you you select the things that you're interested in, and then
So how many can one select?
this is just kind of like a recommendation list. So you can select one thing, or you can select like 10 things. It's up to you.
Oh, I see.
And then once you get past that point, then you'll get to the point where you can start to look for more podcasts.
Okay.
So we're gonna speed this up a little bit since we have some folks that are gonna be coming in here pretty soon. So this is what my homepage looks like. Let me go back.
Welcome to Stitcher, where you can listen to your favorite radio shows and podcasts on demand. Listen to what you want,
Mine
when
is
you want, on your commute, around the house, or on the go. Stitcher's front page automatically keeps you up to date with new episodes from your...
It's not- Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
All right, so this is the home feed, and then you see you can scroll here, and it's going to give you some recommendations to look at podcasts.
Okay.
You remember LeVar Burton?
Yes,
Reading Rainbow?
Yes, yes.
So he has a podcast. So if you want to listen to that, you can click here. Let's see what you have here. You pick comedy.
Yeah.
So let's put this one. And then so when you see this, it gives you a little description of this episode.
And then I can press play.
Push play to listen. You can push play, and then it's gonna load up that episode.
So I see this is the steps I can stop it,
Yep, you can pause it, you can stop it.
and I can go backwards and I can go forward.
That's
right?
the skip, I believe.
Oh, that's skip and that's back.
Yeah, so that's to go back 15 seconds, and that's to go forward 30 seconds,
That's the play.
and that's the play. And then we
But I can't hear any sounds.
where's your volume at? Oh, there you go. Yeah, just turn it up.
Now if I want to get out of there, I press the send
Yep,
button, and then when I want to get in again, it will start wherever I left off.
correct.
Okay, that's fine.
Correct.
So I can do that.
So then what,
I hope.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so Stitcher, so now it came up on my screen, okay.
Yeah, so that's how you jump back into it. You click that icon.
Beautiful,
So I'll show you one more.
okay.
Let's go back to Stitcher. I'll just show you where my show's at.
Oh, yes, yes. So then I must put,
Okay, yes. Yeah, so if you lock it, it'll show you that you can resume the podcast without like opening up your phone. So if you want to find my show, so that little magnifying glass,
search,
yep,
yes.
search. And then if you type in Jamal, so that's spelled Jamal. Just do search.
Jamal, that's enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Search. The search is the X?
The magnifying glass.
Oh,
Down there, yep.
okay, yeah.
Yep, so if you look at this screen right here, it shows my show, and if you click on that,
Can I click on it while this little guy's screening?
it's like, I'm not sure why it's still, yeah, it shouldn't take that long.
31 minutes, weekly capture.
Yeah, and then you can see the episodes
Health
here.
is well.
Why is
Are
it-
you planning the right seeds? 6 or 10 weeks?
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's taking that long. Let's see here. We'll probably have to continue this outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it was taking this time. Okay, so there it
There it
goes.
is.
So that's my podcast. Now, if you click on that, it'll show you my show, and then if you scroll down here, you see the different
Oh, so then I
episodes.
can decide what I want to do.
Yes,
Exactly. Now, if you wanted to like subscribe, or if you want to save this show, there's this little plus button right here. You
Yes.
push that, and then anytime I put out a new episode,
Oh,
It-
it'll automatically download it or upload it?
Yeah. and you'll get a notification on your phone saying, "Oh, the Jamal Abbott Show has released a new episode."
Oh,
So that's how podcasts work in a nutshell.
I see. And
So-
it tells you how many minutes your show, that particular show is on for.
Exactly. So that's it in a nutshell. So we learned about what they are, these podcasts are. We learned about how to listen to them. We learned about where to go get the podcasts, and where we use Stitcher as an example. And then we did a quick example of how you actually search for a podcast, and then how you play the episode, and then how you would save it for later if you wanted to.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
So we can continue this conversation out of the room, since there's going to be another class coming in here.
And you got the time to do
Oh,
that?
yeah, I got the time. I got the time. So I can answer any other